Hello students, I am Darkunde Vaishali from Residential Junior College Ahmednagar. First, I would like to thank our Sanstha Ahmednagar Jilla Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj for giving me this opportunity to work in this educational program of online teaching for all the students of 12th standard. Today we are discussing the second chapter of our English Yuvakbharati Standard 12th on saying please, which is written by A.G. Gardiner. The title of this essay shows that what happens when we say please. In our life, good manners are very important. While speaking to others, we use the words like please, thank you, sorry. These are very important words in our conversation. These words make our life smooth. Most of the times, these words show our courtesies. We never like a person who is arrogant, who is having bad manners, or who never use such words of showing courtesies like please, sorry, thank you. Actually, there is not a law or compulsion for everyone to use the words like please or thank you, but using such words shows our good behavior, good manners, and we make the atmosphere more pleasant. Sometimes it happens in our life that a person behaves very badly with us. At that time, also, we shouldn't react with him in the same manner. We should respond him with more courteous ways. So, friends, never forget this. Your behavior should be always polite, humble, and decent. The writer Alfred George Gardiner was a famous English journalist, editor, and author. He wrote many of his essays by his pen name Alpha of the Plough. The present lesson contains two different situations where we can see the different types of behaviors of different people. The lesson on saying please is divided into four parts. This is the first part of the lesson which contains paragraph number 1 and 2. See, I am reading. The young liftman in a city office who threw a passenger out of his lift the other morning was fined for the offense was undoubtedly in the wrong. The young liftman once threw a passenger out of his lift. He did a wrong thing. It was an offense and he was punished for that. It was a question of please. The complainant entering the lift said top. The liftman demanded top please. And this concession being refused, he not only declined to comply with the instruction but hurled the passenger out of the lift. When the passenger entered into the lift, he said top. But the liftman expected top please. The passenger did not say please and he refused to say that. The liftman was insulted and he refused to obey the passenger's instruction and hurled the passenger, means threw the passenger out of the lift. The act of the liftman was more serious than the act of the passenger. This, of course, was carrying a comment on manner too far. Discourtesy is not a legal offense and it does not excuse assault and battery. Discourtesy means lack of courtesy, rudeness, or impolite behavior. It is not a crime or legal offense and it cannot justify assault and battery. Assault and battery means an attack which includes not only threats but also the actual use of violence. That means you cannot do any harm to the impolite person. You do not have right to harm or hurt a person who behaves impolitely to you. Here the writer gives us the example of a burglar and an assailant. See, I am reading. If a burglar breaks into my house and I knock him down, the law will acquit me. If a burglar breaks into the house, the law will give me permission to knock him down. The law will give me permission to hit him. And if I am physically assaulted, it will permit me to retaliate with reasonable violence. And if a person is physically assaulted, the law will permit the person to retaliate. See the word retaliate. Retaliate means to do something bad to someone who has done something bad to you. The law will permit the person to retaliate with reasonable violence. It does this because the burglar and my assailant means an attacker, have broken quite definite commands of law. Here the writer gives us these two examples of burglar and assailant. We have right to attack or to fight back to a burglar who breaks into the house, or the assailant or attacker who assaulted the person. That means the law will permit you to attack or to injure the burglar, and the law will permit you to retaliate the assailant because the burglar and the assailant have broken the commands of the law. But no legal system could attempt to legislate against bad manners or could sanction the use of violence against something which it does not itself recognize as a legally punishable offense. There is no legal system to make law against bad manners. See the word legislate. Legislate means to make a law or laws. The law could not sanction, means allow, the use of violence against bad manners or bad behavior of a person. This is because showing bad manners is not a crime. We cannot punish for it. And our sympathy with the liftman, we must admit that the law is reasonable. We feel sympathy for the liftman, but the law is reasonable. Law is same for all the people. All the people having good manners or bad manners, all are equal before the law. All the people being educated or illiterate, rich or poor, are same before the law. It would never do if we were at liberty to box people's ears because we did not like their behavior or the tone of their voices or scowl on their faces. The writer thinks that it is not appropriate. It would never do means it is not appropriate if we were at liberty, means we get freedom to box people's ears. See the word box. Box means fight with the fist. Fist means closed hands. This is because we did not like their behavior, we did not like the tone of their voices, or we did not like the scowl. Scowl means angry expressions on the face. At that time, see the line, our fists would never be idle and the gutters of the city would run with blood all day. At that time, we would always fight with others. Our fists would never be idle. Idle means lazy. We would always fight with others because of their bad behaviors. And the gutters of the city would run with blood all day. That means there would be violence everywhere in the city only because of the bad manners of the people. In this way, in this first paragraph, we learnt that no law allows us to kick back the person who misbehaves with us, and bad manners are not legal offense. I may be as uncivil as I may please, and the law will protect me against violent retaliation. The law will protect a person for his rude behavior. Uncivil means rude behavior. And no one is allowed for violent retaliation to uncivil person. I may be haughty or boorish, and there is no penalty to pay except the penalty of being written down an ill-mannered fellow. In the same way, there is no penalty or punishment for a haughty or boorish person, except that the same person is recognized as an ill-mannered fellow. Haughty means having a high opinion of oneself and often a low opinion of others, means proud or full of pride or arrogant person. Boorish means rude or uncultured or bad mannered person. The law does not compel me to say please or to attune my voice to other people's sensibilities any more than it says I shall not wax my mustache or dye my hair or wear ringlets down my back. The law does not compel. Compel means force. the person to say please or to say thank you or to say sorry. At the same time, the law does not force a person to attune, means to adjust his voice to other people's sensibilities. Sensibilities means ability to experience deep feelings, that is to adjust with other people's feelings. Law does not force the people about how to wax the mustache or how to dye the hair or how to wear ringlets down his back. Ringlet means a curled piece of long hair. It does not recognize the laceration of our feelings as a case of compensation. There is no allowance for moral and intellectual damages in these matters. Laceration means a cut or tear. Law does not give compensation for laceration of our feelings, and the law does not give allowance for our moral and intellectual damages. The uncivil, haughty, or boorish people can create severe damages, but the law cannot cure your damages, as there is no allowance or compensation for such severe damages. Thank you, students. I think you have understood the first part of this text.